G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. Those of you who've been following my channel for a while will be aware that I've been working on a project to put up a second Buoywall cistern so that I can empty the water out of the original Buoywall cistern because it's still leaking about 50 litres of air per day out of its air boom, and that means I've had to come up with a flat pad on a sloping piece of ground, which is it's an interesting style of a trick because you have to build up one end and dig in the other end, and I've sort of made the job a little bit more complicated for myself because I wanted to put a hemispherical depression in the centre of the pad, not only to anchor the buoywall but to concentrate the dirt in the centre of the bottom rather than spreading it out all over the place. And that means I got to check the thing. I mean, I constructed it by eye and it sort of looks about right, but I don't know exactly how level and how flat and how depressed I've managed to make it. So the theory is I'm going to use these, and because they're obviously kind of inadequate to be playing with a 12 foot by 12 foot square, I'm going to extend the range of that spirit level with a piece of pipe that was manufactured straight and it's never been bent. So this was the lowest corner, and from memory it was 9 inches lower than that corner over there before I started scratching at the dirt. And there we have the situation where what was the low corner is now ever so slightly the high corner, and as this dirt packs down, I mean, I have been packing it and wetting it and packing it and wetting it, doing it in layers, but under load, when it gets 5 or 6 tons of water in there, it might just compress down enough that that will be level. And when we put our extended spirit level onto the north wall, we see that, yeah, that's level. The western edge, once again, we've got the bubble inside the marks, and the southern edge, it's also inside the marks. And here in the centre we have contact out at the edges on the 12 foot mark, the bubbles in the middle, and we've got about 4 inches worth of concavity, which kind of shows up a little bit better if you sit back and use a telephoto. Thusly, and that works out just as good when you run the pipe across from north to south. So, Hillbilly surveying. It may not be super high tech, but it seems as near as damn is to swearing that it does the job, eh? And yeah, here's the diagonal corner view. and it works both ways too. So, I pronounce that to be more or less of a success. And once I've gone around with side cutters and chopped off the last of these bits of melaleuca and casuarina and grass roots, that's when it'll be time to unroll this coir matting, C-O-I-R, and see whether it's a good idea or not to roll that out on top of the dirt before I take the spare pool out of the box where it's been sitting for 5 years and erect it on the flat, square, level, hemispherical, concave, conical pad. And when I do get it erected on the pad, then the next thing I've got to do to prevent it from suffering from the bites of the kangaroos is I get to fence it. And towards that end, I actually went in and purchased 10 brand new star pickets with which to fence the second pool on the pad. And then I will be able to safely share my water without the critters biting holes in the technology. Well, I'm pretty sure it wasn't Mr. Whitetail over there. I reckon it was Rowan of Wren that bit the hole. Of course, the only sour note is that these 3 trees, which I have so far left standing while I was sweating in the sunlight on the pad, I'm going to take them down so that they don't constantly drop leaves and twigs onto the top of the pool, because you would be very surprised at the layer of tree debris which was in this, which had fallen down from the overhanging tree, which used to be rooted there and is now waiting to become firewood. And it took me pretty much an entire day working in 1-hour sessions to dig it out of the ground, cutting its roots off with a mattock. At least with these ones, I don't have to dig their root balls out of the ground. Just cut them down, cut them up, and stack it. And just to round the story out, not only did I use ancestral hand tools, but with araldite and tie wire, I repaired ancestral hand tools. So they're all still functioning, despite the advanced age. Not unlike a few of us on YouTube. Yeah, happy birthday to Fred McVitie, by the way. A couple of days late, but I might as well throw it in. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.